how to add a background colour to some type. Just basically have a background instead of just having a white background. Of course, what you could do, you can simply go over here to select a rectangle shape, just simply apply it. And then just go to layers and just drag down just below it. So you've got some background type. Well, that's a reasonable solution. But what you can do, you can also use guides. So I'm just going to select this, and I've got this type, and obviously I've got lots of different fonts, I've got different sizes, so I wanted to make it slightly more varied than just a simple basic line. Now what I can do, I can duplicate this and hold down the Alt Option key, and I've always asked, where's the Alt Option key? Well, it's on here on my keyboard, might be in a different position on yours, but it says Alt or OPT or Option or something like that. So depending on your PC or Mac, hold that down to duplicate. And that's using the Move tool, and then you've got 2 there. Now, don't resize anything now. At this point, you've got exactly the same as before, as that type there. And I'm just going to remove that previous type. But I'm going to use it, I'm going to bring it back in a sec. But I'm just going to now add some, I'm going to turn this into a path or a shape. So go to type. Now, I often go to layer by accident. I always think for some weird reason it should be in there, but it's not. It's in type and convert to shape. So it's all converted to shape. Now I can do my guides, view and new guide from shape, and it will be a mess. You've got lots and lots of, you'd have lots and lots of lines all over that, which is fine, but makes it very hard to think. So then what you can do, you can use the direct selection tool. There's the direct selection tool. Now, what you can do, and it might not be in that position, you might be in different, now you've got a little down here, you can edit the toolbar. So you can see edit toolbar, so you can reposition it. I've repositioned it up here because I use it quite a lot. So select that and you can see all the points now of this thing. So what you can do, you can select just a part of it. So I'm just going to select that. Now with that selected, now I could do exactly the same. I could go to view, new guides and shape, and it's reasonable because you might want to do each letter. Perfectly reasonable. You could use the guides, it will create guides for every letter along there. But what you can do, you can go up to the top here, and there's an option for path operations, and you can do merge shape components. So it's all one part. Now, what you can then do, now it's all that, now you can do it. View and new guide from shape. And then you've got the guide just around the shape. Now I can delete it. Now I can go over here again, the rectangle, and I've got it black there, I don't want that. Say blue, oops, well, doesn't matter, just convert. I just want the rectangle to be that, and then just go over there. And you've got it exactly the same as there. You should do anyway. You get it right, which I didn't just do. Now, what's quite handy is view and snap. Snap, and also you've got show, you've got guides, smart guides, all those sort of things set on. So you should snap nicely to that. Now what you can do then is, obviously I can go to the next one. So I can just select that. Now you have to go back down. If you try and select it when you've got the top layer, slightly odd. You think it just should automatically work out. Yes, I want it to be select that. However, it doesn't. Now, just selecting that. Now what I can do exactly the same as before. I can go over here to merge shape components. And then I can, now of course I could clear these other guides because you might end up very confusing all the various things. So before you do that, you can always go view and clear guides. If you want to remove the other guides, you don't have to have them still. Then view and new guide from shape. And again, you've got exactly the same as before. And then you can delete them. And again, what you can do, you can go over here to the rectangle tool, and it's got blue there. I might change it. Let's go for red this time. And now I can fill that block there with red. If I do it correctly. Yes, it looks fine. So you can see you can do the whole thing. You can just go through every single one. So I'm just going to, obviously I'm not going to do all of it because that would just be take forever just to do every single thing. That's not going to be any benefit. So I'm just going to quickly go and show you the next one. Again, go back to the type, just select the type. So you've actually got it selected. That's the key thing. And now I'm going to go for the but. So Again, direct selection tool and select, oops, just select that. So that's selected. Now what you can do, again, go up here to this thing here, merge shape components. So it's all merged, and then what you can do, again, view, clear guides, if you want to do that, up to you. It just gets messy maybe after a while, you might not certain which ones you're actually selecting. I know sometimes I think, oof, too many lines across the screen, I'm starting to think, which one am I supposed to be? So new guide from shape, and again, you've got that selected, so then I can remove that, and then I can there go to that one. And instead of red, I can go for that colour, and so on and so on. Now, obviously, I can go through all these. Now, let's just go to one more, and so select again all that type, and then go up to the direct selection tool, and I'm going to go for like the word different. So select all of that, so different selected. Now go up to here again, merge shape component, and then go up to view, clear guides, again so you don't see it, all the other ones, view and new guide from shape. And again you can see the same thing, so I can move that and then go over there. And I'm going to change the colour for that one as well, go for green, just so you've got different separately. Now obviously I could do the whole lot. And if you've obviously got type that's all consistent, it's much easier because you don't have to keep doing it for the individual words. Obviously, if it's a complete row, row all identical, then you can just select the entire row and do exactly the same like this. So if, like I said, this one, obviously this has still got something slightly different, but you could select, again, go down there, just select the entire row. Oops, I want to say. You have to be very careful. Just sometimes you might have to struggle just to select it, but there, select the whole row, and then of course use exactly the same technique. But obviously in this case, there's obviously a slightly bigger word there. Okay, so once you've done that, what you can do now, I'm going to quickly zoom out. So window and navigator, and quickly zoom out, and also bring back the other text. So there's the other text. Now, what I can do, I can actually remove this. I can remove the other stuff, so I don't need that anymore. So what I can then do, of course, I can go up to the move tool. Let's move the guides as well. Clear guides, so you don't have to see those. You can see the blue there. You can see that one there. See that one there, and you can see that one. And what you can do, you can move it up. Of course, probably just as easy to group them all. So maybe go into a smart object. I always like smart objects, so I think that's my go-to generally. Layer, smart objects, convert to smart objects. Another thing, you could always right-click, and there's options there as well. Actually, I have to quickly show you before I do the smart object. It's always best. So you've got there all the rectangles selected. You can group from layers. So you can just click group. Now I'm not going to do that. I prefer the smart object. Smart objects means you can go and change them later, which is always very useful. So layer, smart objects, convert to smart objects, and you can apply effects. And then what you can do, simply drag that there. And of course, just reposition it. And now, what I'm going to do, obviously I want that behind, so just drag that down, and you've got it there. And that's all nicely. I've just got you zoom in so you can actually see it. Navigator seems, in my latest version of Photoshop, whenever I click anything, it just seems to have a mind of its own, something just to close it. Just seems to do that more often now. I don't know. Sometimes I can quite often just go click on the layer just to drag it over somewhere, and it goes. You think, what? It's very weird. Very odd feature that seems, I've never noticed that before, particularly that sort of instant response where it just deletes it, just removes it. However, now what you've got is obviously the colour behind all of those words. And of course you could have done all the others. I mean, I've just obviously just done a couple of words. So otherwise I spent hours doing it. But you can see the approach. Now, of course, now because it's, now I've still got the other one, I could still use continue. I haven't deleted it, still there, but I've got the smart object here. And what you of course can do with smart object is you can always go to filter, and maybe instead of having just color behind your type, you can always go for Gaussian blur. So you've got Gaussian blur. So you get a nice, like that. Or maybe you can always go for layer and layer style and drop shadow. So you can add drop shadow to your type there as well. Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to, but you could create obviously all kinds of interesting designs and filter, and maybe go for 3D possibly as well. But filter, noise, maybe not, emboss, so and so on. There's a number of them. Maybe some obviously like distort and things probably won't be such a great idea, but certainly stylize, maybe, probably not even, or find edges. You've got a nice edge effect around that, if that's what you want to do. And of course you can always add an edge around them anyway. So you can just go to rectangle again, layer, layer style, and go to stroke. Maybe you wouldn't want that sort of size, but maybe a reduced. So you can see you can quickly add, very quickly, that sort of design, and maybe change it with color, for gradient, or pattern, inside, so you can get sort of slightly different effect there. And of course you can also bevel and emboss as well if you wanted that. Click OK. So that's how I think that's an interesting way of adding background color to type. And of course what you can always do to actually keep it all together, that's another thing, layer and smart objects, convert to smart object, you've got it all in one place. So it's, which again, of course you can add additional color effects and modify, and of course you go to image, adjustments, hue saturation, you can just recolor it very easy as well. To create all kinds of different things. Well, hope you found this tutorial of interest. I am actually at the end of it. Always adding new tutorials about Photoshop, Illustrator, Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, Publisher, Critter, and many, many others. Also, if you've got any comments about things I've done wrong, all right, maybe things I could improve, how to approach it differently, please let me know. Also, please subscribe to Graphicxtras channel and dislike or like. Thank you much.